Have you ever felt like you're constantly at war with the world, and even worse, at war with yourself? We're taught to hustle, to fight, to conquer. But what if the greatest victory isn't won on a battlefield, but in the quiet chambers of our own minds? What if true, unshakable strength comes not from aggression, but from peace? And that real freedom isn't about doing whatever you want, whenever you want, but is found in discipline. It sounds like a paradox, right? Peace is strength. Discipline is freedom. Because today, we're not just talking about a catchy phrase. We're uncovering a philosophy that can fundamentally change the way you navigate life. Let me tell you a story about a young architect named Leo. Leo was brilliant, ambitious, and perpetually stressed. His mind was a relentless storm of deadlines, client demands, and annoying fear of failure. He saw every project as a battle to be won, every negotiation a territory to be conquered. He worked 18-hour days, fueled by caffeine and anxiety. He thought this relentless drive was his strength, but in reality, he was brittle. A single, unexpected delay could send him into a spiral of frustration. A critical comment from a client felt like a personal attack. He was winning projects, but he was losing himself. His relationships were strained, his health was deteriorating, and he felt trapped, a prisoner of his own ambition. One weekend, on the verge of complete burnout, Leo's sister dragged him on a hiking trip to a remote mountain range. He complained the whole way up, his mind still racing with work emails he should be answering. They finally reached a small, secluded lake nestled high in the mountains. The water was perfectly still, like a flawless mirror reflecting the sky. There was no wind, no noise, just a profound, overwhelming silence. For the first time in years, the storm in Leo's mind began to quiet. He sat by the water's edge, watching the unmoving surface. A thought struck him with the force of a revelation. This stillness, this peace, it wasn't empty, it was powerful. The lake wasn't weak because it was calm. It was strong. It could reflect the entire world without being disturbed by it. This is the first half of our equation. Peace is strength. Think of a mighty oak tree in a hurricane. It doesn't fight the wind, it bends with it. Its strength comes from its deep roots and its flexibility. A mind in a state of peace is like that oak. It can face the storms of life, the unexpected challenges, the criticisms, the failures, without being broken. It observes, it adapts, it endures. When you're internally chaotic, every little problem feels like a catastrophe. Your energy is wasted on fighting internal battles, leaving you depleted when you need to face external ones. But when you cultivate inner peace, you conserve that energy. You develop clarity. You can see a problem for what it is, without the distortion of fear or anger. You respond thoughtfully, not react impulsively. This isn't weakness or passivity. It's the ultimate strategic advantage. Peace gives you the strength to withstand anything life throws at you, because you are no longer fighting on two fronts. Your core is stable. Leo returned from the mountains with a new perspective. He wanted that quiet strength of the lake. But how? The moment he stepped back into his office, the chaos returned. Emails flooded in, the phone rang incessantly, and the pressure mounted. The peace he felt was a distant memory. He realized that peace wasn't a destination you arrive at, like that mountain lake. It was something you had to build day by day, brick by brick, right in the middle of your life, and the tool for building it. That's the second half of our equation. Discipline is freedom. This is where most people get it wrong. We think of discipline as restriction, as a cage. We see it as a list of things we can't do. Can't eat the cake, can't sleep in, can't watch another episode. But true discipline isn't about punishment. It's about choice. It's about choosing what you want most over what you want now. It's the conscious, deliberate act of building a structure for your life that supports your long-term well-being and goals. Every time you act with discipline, you are casting a vote for the person you want to become. So, Leo started small. He decided he would meditate for just 5 minutes every morning before checking his phone. It was hard. His mind would wander 1,000 to-do items, screaming for his attention. But he disciplined himself to just sit, to return to his breath again and again. This small act of discipline was a tiny anchor of peace in his morning storm. It didn't magically solve his problems, but it changed how he met them. He started his day from a place of centeredness, not chaos. Then, he applied this to his work. He created a disciplined schedule. He set specific hours for deep, focused work with no interruptions. He designated time for checking emails so they no longer controlled his entire day. He scheduled breaks, and even more importantly, he scheduled an end time to his workday. At first, it felt restrictive. The impulse to just keep working, to answer one more email, was powerful. But he stuck to it, and a strange thing happened. By creating these boundaries, he became more productive, more creative. His mind, knowing it had a dedicated time for rest, worked more efficiently during focus hours. He was no longer a slave to demands. He was in control. His discipline had set him free. This is the freedom that discipline provides. It's freedom from the tyranny of your impulses. It's freedom from the anxiety of an unstructured life. It's freedom from the exhaustion of constant reactivity. Think about a musician practicing scales for hours. Is that practice a prison? No. It's the very thing that gives them the freedom to eventually play any piece of music, to improvise to express themselves. The discipline of practice unlocks the freedom of mastery. It's the same in our lives. The discipline of managing your finances gives you the freedom from debt. The discipline of exercising gives you the freedom of a healthy body. And the discipline of managing your mind gives you the freedom of inner peace. Leo's journey transformed him. He was still an ambitious architect, but he was no longer at war. He approached his work with a calm, focused intensity. His clients noticed the change. He was a better listener, a more creative problem solver. He was no longer just building structures of steel and glass. His colleagues saw him as a source of stability, not stress. His strength was no longer brittle and aggressive. It was quiet, resilient, and deep, like that mountain lake. And he felt freer than ever before. Not because he had fewer responsibilities, but because he was the master of his own mind and time. So, how do we start building this in our own lives? It begins with small, deliberate acts. You don't need to go to a remote mountain. You can find it right here, right now. Start with your morning. Instead of grabbing your phone, can you take 5 minutes to just sit in silence, to stretch, or to write down 3 things you're grateful for? That's an act of discipline that builds a foundation of peace. Look at your day. Can you set a timer and focus on one single task for just 25 minutes without distraction? That's the discipline that frees you from the overwhelm of multitasking. Can you create a simple evening ritual, like reading a book or listening to calm music, to signal to your mind that the day is done? That's the discipline that grants you the freedom of restful sleep. Peace is not the absence of problems. It's the ability to remain centered in the midst of them. And discipline is not a cage. It is the key that unlocks the door to your own inner strength and freedom. By embracing these 2 principles, you stop being a leaf blown about by the winds of circumstance and become the deeply rooted oak tree. You stop being a prisoner to your impulses and become the architect of your own life. The journey isn't easy. There will be days you fail, days the storm feels too strong, days your discipline wavers. That's okay. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is practice. Every time you choose peace over chaos, every time you choose discipline over impulse, you are strengthening that inner core. You are taking back your power. Remember the lake. Remember, Leo. Your greatest strength is in your stillness. Your truest freedom is in your choices. Peace is strength. Discipline is freedom.